going. Okay. This week on Previews World Weekly, Spawn takes over, and apparently so do robots. Plus, we discuss whether or not your favorite original characters were treated fairly in their sequels. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly. What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday, which means it's New Comic Book Day, which means it's once again time for Previews World Weekly. I am your host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Troy's out this week. He's getting over COVID. Glad to hear that. So we have Natasha, aka Canada.lex, with us. What's up?
Hi, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me. Sorry, Troy, that you have the Rona.
Hopefully that's a had past
Yeah,
tense.
yeah.
He's not allowed back until
No.
he's done.
But I'm happy to fill in. I'm happy to be here. It's kind of cool to be in studio for the first time in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we're, headset and webcamming.
This is your first time co-hosting back in the studio.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God, that's exciting.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Ooh, that's weird. All right.
Make it weird.
Just 2 years of time missing from my brain.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into it, I guess. Well, before we do that, I want to remind you guys to like, follow, and subscribe. Previews World across the board: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. You can follow me at Free Comic Book Day, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitter, and TikTok. And where can people find you?
Canon.lex. Everything.
Okay.
Everywhere. Even the website, canon.lex.com, Canon.lex, everything.
Okay, solid.
Just Google it.
Facts. You do come up when you Google yourself.
You do. I mean, I do.
Well, you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Most people do nowadays if you have like a Facebook. Anyway,
Yeah.
All right. We're already off track.
Forewarning everybody, this will be a really fun and funny show.
I'm
You're welcome.
also already rolling out of the shot, which is my specialty.
Sorry, just lean back. It's fun.
All right, so let's talk about the gift guide, Previews World Holiday Gift Guide.
Super cool.
So every year, Previews World puts together a gift guide to help you find the perfect gift for all of the nerds in your family. We all have one. So it's over 200 ideas of things you can get, and that includes single-issue comics, like trade paperbacks, omnibuses, whichever you prefer, statues, figures, the whole 9 yards, and it's on the Previews World website. You can literally flip through it. We have it broken down by publisher because we like to make it easy for you. Will you be getting your family nerd gifts? I know everyone in your family's a nerd.
Some of my family's probably watching this, but I have already gotten some.
Did you
nerd
go to your
gifts.
local comic book store?
Of course I did.
Okay.
Of course I did.
All right, I was getting ready to yell at you.
Yeah, of course I did. I love, even though, I do stuff for various comic companies, I absolutely like to support my local comic shop, because that's the whole reason we're here, is
Facts.
to, point out, hey, these are all the things that you can get at your local comic shop, and it would be silly for us not to go to our local comic shop. So
That's true.
yeah,
Right,
Universal Comics and Arbutus, that's my spot.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
We got our first comment from Annie Fox saying, "Hi, I like this start time. I don't have to rush back from my morning hike with my husky."
Oh, yay. Puppy.
Adorable. Here for the dog content. Ubaldo wants Troy to feel better. I do too.
Oh, hey, bud.
Relatable. Also, what's up, guys?
Yay!
Oh,
yeah, Batman. I've also got
yeah.
my Batman glasses too, and then that's all the time though.
Yeah, you're really on theme
Like my
today.
sweater. Yeah. We're gonna be
I'm
talking
not, I'm
Batman. I'm gonna be talking Batman and Spawn. So I figured,
Might
might
as
as well wear my clothes.
Right. Nice, good sentence.
Yeah.
Might as well wear a shirt today.
Yeah, might as well wear a shirt today.
All right, so speaking of that, let's jump in and talk about comic books. We'll tell you guys our picks this week. Natasha has one, I have one, and then we'll put you guys onto some other cool stuff coming to your local comic shop today. All right, do you want to go first as the guest of honor?
Sure. All right, I'll go first. My pick is All Against All, and this one is really cool. I think you'll like it because it's post-apocalyptic. In the near-distant future, Earth is long gone, but a race of alien conquerors known as the Operators have preserved its most savaged animals and put it in an artificial jungle and the environment they barely understand. Of course, I picked this one because this has a Spawn variant cover. So
Can't
I
blame
had to choose it. There's a few all against all that are out this week, but this one I picked in particular because of Spawn.
And there's a bunch of Spawn covers. We're going to come back to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
There's a Spawn thing happening.
Yes, a lot of Spawn. I'm very excited. But this book, this whole series looks really cool. You've got the mix, the post-apocalyptic thing. I know you really dig that kind of genre. But it's like super gritty and like just the mix of making this artificial jungle and things like that.
When they say animals, do they mean like, is that like a underhanded jab at humanity, or like literal, like there's lions and tigers and bears? Oh my!
You have to read it.
Okay, fair enough. You got me there.
Yeah. Spoilers. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my pick for this week.
All right, well, I also picked a post-apocalyptic dystopian nightmare, right? Crazy that I would do that. It's so weird. It's called Know Your Station #1. Well, it's the first one, but it's called Know Your Station. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Did you, by chance, watch the movie Don't Look Up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
This is like that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So
like for real life.
So it kind of, to some extent, picks up literally where Don't Look Up ends. So the solar system is kind of destroyed. Earth is destroyed. And the top 1%, like the richest people to ever live, are going to find another planet to destroy.
Naturally.
While the rest of us plebs have to stay here and suffer through cataclysmic climate change. But it's cool because there's a murderer on the loose in this space station that's taking the wealthiest people to their new and improved planet to destroy. So it's kind of like Don't Look Up meets Clue, because there's all kinds of different clues happening as it goes on, and there's different murders, and they're all staged in different ways and to different people, and they don't seem to connect in any way other than that the victims are the mega rich. And I'm all about that. It's a cautionary tale, but also alarmingly realistic.
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable and unsettling way.
Perfect.
That's what we like.
And a mystery. I like a good mystery. I mean, a big fan of detective-y kind of thing, so I like a mystery.
So I'll be getting 2 comics this week since apparently there's 2 dystopian comics.
Yes.
Just go blow all
Perfect.
All right, so you're here now, but you're going to be here in the past, right? We're doing your video.
Yes.
So
for
Natasha,
this week. Well, I say today's date.
Yeah.
So,
so Natasha from the past was going to run us through all of the cool collectibles you can get at your local comic book shop, because of course it's not just books. There's
toys, collectibles, and again, it's like a visual gift guide.
Yeah.
For what you can get at your local comic shop. So there's that.
All right, let's check it out.
Right.
Here is this week's rundown of some of the toys, statues, and collectibles hitting store shelves for the first time. And I'd like to wish my husband and my daughter Sydney a very happy birthday. Now let's take a look inside the Previews toy chest for the week of December 7th, 2022. That's not all. Before heading to your local comic shop, be sure to check out PREVIEWsworld.com/new releases. There you'll find a complete rundown of everything a toy collector could possibly want.
All right, so that's just some of the collectibles you can get at your local comic book shop today, but that's not even it. There's tons and tons of stuff coming out every Wednesday. So much stuff.
So much.
So if you head over to PREVIEWsworld.com/new releases, you can see the full list of everything, and that's comic books, graphic novels, toys, shirts, card games, tabletop games, you name it. So you can check all of that stuff out. So let's pivot here. We got some news to talk about. We mentioned Spawn.
Sorry.
I hate you. So we mentioned Spawn earlier, and we're going to jump into that with our news.
Yes, news. So So this month is super extra special for those of you out there who are like me and love Todd McFarlane and love Spawn, because he is doing a crossover. Image Comics is doing a crossover with DC Comics, and this will be the first time since 1994 that this happened, but Batman is going to be with Spawn, and it's super exciting. It's in a celebration of the 30th anniversary, and this is just super cool because you're not just getting 1 or 2 variants here and there. It's 50 variant
Is
covers.
it really that many?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was that many.
And that's not including the ones that Spawn actually stars in. So these are just the special variant covers. There's 50 of them. Todd McFarlane is teaming up with Greg Capullo, and this is just like a really epic thing. Even further than that, those of you who are also a Batman fan, like myself, the storyline involves the Court of Owls, and that's some good literature for me. I really like it when they kind of come in and it seems like they're gonna kind of take Batman and Spawn, and they're not just gonna like cross over in battle. Like they're gonna have to team up because they're kind of gonna be pawns of the Court of Owls, and that's really cool. But it's all this month. It starts this month for December. We're already into December, so check your local comic shop, see what you can get your hands on. But it's really cool in the fact that it's not just Image Comics doing this. DC is also printing these,
which is impressive too, because coordinating those publisher crossovers is a challenge.
It's huge and it's so cool.
Hey, Riley, are there any other covers in this article that we can look at?
Yeah, if you scroll, I was gonna say if you scroll down, there's one with Wonder Woman that I 100% need the print of. Like, it's
that one's dope.
So pretty. Like, it's amazing. All of these covers. Look at that thing.
Oh,
look how awesome that is. Catwoman, you got every
good.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, we were talking before the show started. It's a bunch of the Image titles he's on, and there's a really awesome Undiscovered Country one that I want, even though I've found myself like 10 issues behind.
So you've got, I mean, it's going to be 50 covers. So
there's also an Ice Cream Man one that is like psychotic, just like unhinged, because Ice Cream Man is unhinged.
Yeah.
It's such a great idea.
Yeah. But yeah, so it starts this month in December. So hit your local comic shop up, like get all the things, get all the covers. I'm gonna try to get all 50. Sorry.
Are you really?
Sorry, honey, but I'd really like to. That would be amazing.
Wow, okay, that's ambitious.
This is a special event. This is the first time since 1994.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, Spawn came out in like 92. Like,
when does this man
that's
sleep?
pretty. He doesn't. Todd McFarlane does not sleep. He's consistently. I follow him on Instagram, and he's always doing some awesome. Oh, that's my husband.
Hey, you wanna read
Troy got tied up. I'm all here. Here's Troy. There.
Yeah. Long hair.
But yeah, like, Todd McFarlane is always working and always moving, and I'm very excited.
I got another comment from Tony Craig. He says, I saw in my local comic shop a lot of independent books had Spawn in their varying covers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super exciting.
And apparently it's all month long. All of
December? All month.
Okay.
Well, it just starts this month, and then I think it's going through January.
Oh,
so
sweet. That's
you
sick.
got 50 covers. You gotta.
Ubaldo says Batman and Spawn, OMG.
I know,
that's
right?
How you feel.
That's yeah. I'm right there with you. Yeah. Yeah. Super love it. Super excited. Let's see if I got all my notes. Yeah, Court of Owls, Pawns. Yep, I hit all the bullet points.
Home run.
So yeah, did my job. Yeah. So yeah, so go check it out if you're a fan of Spawn, Batman, and if you don't know of Spawn but you love Batman or you love any of the DC comics, like, you know, Image Comics, you know, independent publisher kind of badassery going on. Like, go check it out and see how that crossover works, and you know, you get some of your beloved characters of Batman and everything else, and then you get this real gritty, you know, Al Simmons character messing things up a bit. So very excited. All right, let's change gears a bit here. Talk about Unipress. They have They have a new president. So they've gone out and hired Hunter Goranson to be their president and publisher. I should say it's Oni Lion Forge Publishing Group since their merger a few years back. And he is probably the most qualified person to fill this role with a long tenure in the comic book industry. In 2011, he was the founding vice president of marketing and communications at Valiant. In 2018, he moved over to Hive Mind, which is the production company behind Netflix's Witcher and Amazon's The Expanse.
So certainly some breadth of knowledge there. And then in 2021, most recently, he was at Boom Studios as their Vice President of Business Development. So now, as the publisher for Oni Lion Forge, he'll be, in charge of their editorial, marketing, sales, and operations. But beyond that, he's trying to expand their footprint and their relationship with creators, identify new voices, and expand their storytelling, which all about that.
Yeah.
And in a quote, he said, "Oni is without a doubt one of the most groundbreaking and influential comic book publishers of our generation. It's a true honor to lead the company at this pivotal moment in its history, and I look forward to working alongside our incredibly talented team and distinguished roster of creators to write a new chapter that will honor Oni's legacy of advancing daring creative voices, stories, and ideas," which I'm all about. Okay, so I wasn't at my comic book shop. I was at my library, which it sort of counts. But I stumbled.
God, you're so weird.
I stumbled upon a graphic novel called Chef's Kiss, which is by Oni Press, and it's the cutest. It's adorable. It's just like a little rom-com about like college-age kid that graduates and he can't get a job and he doesn't know what to do, and he stumbles upon a restaurant hiring, and he's an amateur home cook, and then he develops a relationship with the sous chef. It's just so cute. The art's really good. If you follow me on Free Comic Book Day, I put some of the art in our story, so one of the highlight reels, you can check it out. Big recommendation if you just want something cute, and that's from Oni Press, so that's my plug.
Good job.
I've been dying to tell somebody about this comic book. I read it 2 weeks ago, and it was so cute, and my boyfriend's just sick of me listen to this thing, so I've been trying to find someone else, and you are the recipient of that.
Hooray! Well, it's not Archie, but I'll take it.
All right, great. All right. Okay, last news piece, and we're going to rein it in for a minute because this is important.
Yeah.
Eileen Kaminsky-Crumb passed recently at the age of 74. She is an incredibly important figure in the comic book community. Her 1970s publications were, very self-deprecating. She had a lot of sexualized content, and she created what is believed to be the first autobiographical work by a woman in underground comics. So it's incredibly important, incredibly formative work. And she would later go on to marry Robert Crumb, who was a giant of the industry, and would continue to explore in different manners the notions of sexuality and what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a woman in this male-dominated field. And she really was very well known for being, I saw the word crude come up in a lot of these pieces, but I would say almost honest about those conversations, which sometimes can maybe feel crude, but it's important to be very
just raw.
Raw, absolutely, absolutely. So we'll be celebrating her life in all of its glory. And that's that. I hate when we talk about people that pass. I feel like when you talk about someone that passes every week, we've been on a run recently.
Yeah.
It's not fair. All right, Annie asking, when is Spawn Batman coming out?
Contact your local comic shop. It should be out this week because of, let's see, it's the 7th, and it's New Comic Book Day today. So
it's out
check
today.
with your local comic shop. It was December. I didn't have a definitive date on here. Failed
you can
with that part. But just hit up go to PREVIEWsworld.com, and
you do need to log into Poolbox to see the DC
or
titles,
Poolbox,
but it is 100% free. And you can also, if you
also
use
Image,
Poolbox,
you can find Image on previews.
But if it's a Batman title, wouldn't it need to be DC? Even if it's
also it's a Spawn title.
But is it a Spawn book? Isn't it a Batman?
There's a Spawn book.
It's a Batman.
Just check with your local comic shop.
With Spawn on the front cover. It's a DC book. All right.
The controversy continues.
You can call your local comic shop and ask them to tell you when the Batman book with Spawn on the cover comes out. We think it's today, but obviously we can't say for sure.
Welcome to the news, where we bring you the facts.
Some facts. Alternative facts.
Most facts.
An alternative fact, if you will.
Yeah, and if you don't know where your comic shop is, go to comicshoplocator.com and type in your...
We're hitting all the plugs this week.
You're welcome.
We are on it. I promise we're prepared. What's next? The trailer, right? That's right,
Yes,
Riley?
the trailer.
Yes? Is that okay?
All right.
Great.
He's in his cave, you told us, yes.
I'm just going to try and keep this pushing without Troy here to hold my hand.
Sorry, should I say I hate fish sticks? Would that help?
That's blasphemy. Fish sticks are good.
That's Troy. That's not me.
I know. You just need to cook them in the oven so they get crispy, and you need the right dips.
The dips.
Yeah.
The dips matter.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. All right, play the trailer.
That's right. Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low.
Let's fight like demons.
It's not safe for you here.
You have to be ready.
Okay.
Well, that looked awesome.
I'm incredibly excited for this. I'm insanely excited. I've been talking about Dune for 2 years.
You have.
Like,
I've been there.
Oof. Okay, so this is the official movie graphic novel. So think of it as an adaptation of Frank Herbert's, seminal novel.
Yeah.
Using the movie's visualization of the characters and the places, and you saw that in the trailer, right? So it takes Timothy Chalamet playing Paul Atreides and makes him a comic book character. Which I think is a really great way to connect those two things, especially if you're looking to translate like your movie-going audience into like a book reader or comic book reader. It is out next week, the 14th, so it's not this week, we're a week ahead, but it'll be out next week on the 14th. I will be getting this because I am so hyped about it. The movie was so good. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, totally.
Excellent.
I cannot wait for more.
Right.
Like I follow Josh Brolin on Instagram and like when he was filming it and like he was really subtle. It was before we knew all the Dune information and stuff, and he was just showing like, oh, I'm filming here today or this or whatever, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of desert stuff going on, like whatever. And then it started tying together and all that, and it was just like, oh my god, so cool. Yeah, no, it was visually awesome. It was well done. A lot of the story, a lot of it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
And the second movie's going to be much more of the actions, the way it's broken out. The first one is just like a lot of exposition.
Yeah, well, I mean, the books it's a lot of story. So like translating that into moving pictures is not that easy to still keep your, audience captivated and like want to watch it. So you've got to have some of that story lead up and then get into the juicy parts of the story. So
also, they recently announced Austin Butler is going to be playing Fade, who was played by Sting in the original.
Oh, yeah.
One, which he was great in Elvis, so I have high hopes for his ability to pull this off. Because Fade is just like the most unhinged character. He's a mess.
Yes.
So I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Also, he'll have an untimely death. Sorry, spoiler. Ooh, shit. My bad.
Way to go, Ashton.
I'm sorry. This book's been out since the 70s. What do you want from me? Whoopsie. Watch Elvis.
So the cool part about this too is how rad is it for these actors to now be in a comic?
Right.
Like, that's pretty awesome. Like for me, that would be next level. Cool, I'm a movie star, but no, now you're a comic book star.
Right.
Like that's really awesome. But
especially
I just had to throw it in there.
Jason Momoa, because he was Aquaman. Like to see him in another capacity.
Right? Yeah.
Is really
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
I'm all about it. We're gonna keep going and try not to ruin any more.
You're doing great.
Books that
you were
came
doing
out
great. Yeah.
50 plus
Other than
years
the
ago.
spoilers, you're doing great.
Didn't want to spoil something that's over 50 years old. I apologize. All right, so we've gotten to the portion of the show that I'm most terrified of.
Hooray! What is it, Ashton?
Robots.
Robots.
I'm panicking. Oh my God! Can you play Johnny's robot stinger? Do you have it? Yes.
Yay! Do it.
That always.
Thanks for letting us know it was over.
Having a side conversation. Okay, so, all right. We're talking about Lensa right now, which I'm
Yes.
sure you guys have seen.
All over your Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, right. Of these like AI generated images,
Yeah.
their magic avatar filter that's supposed to make you look sort of like
For
vaguely like a
$8.
comic book character. Right, which
Yeah.
I didn't even realize until earlier this week.
I didn't know either. Like everyone's like posting all these things or whatever. It's like, I was like, oh, okay, that's fun. Like thinking it's just whatever thing. And I even downloaded it and checked it out. And then it was like $8. And I was like, yeah, no thanks.
Decline.
Like, nope. And not because the $8, I can afford $8. It's the, I don't want to pay for art for $8 when I'll just go to Fiverr and get an artist or like one of my artist friends or something else. But that's just me. And everyone kind of made it seem like it was free to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just, did this thing and look, I've got 50 versions of myself.
Everyone's just like throwing these around like it's a thing and it's not a free thing. So I was like, okay, I guess we're all just out here blowing $8 to get okay, let me spend $8 to give my face to a robot. Pass. Decline.
Yeah.
Why would I want that? Because you have to give it 10 images of yourself for it to spit out 50 of you that by all of my viewing I've seen of other people's just get increasingly bad.
Some of them are weird.
Some of them are like an eye is like in the wrong spot. Like, They're creepy.
Sorry, friends.
They're weird, and I'm just not about robots. But there's another kind of side to this that you just mentioned, which is, and this goes hand in hand with Troy and I had talked previous weeks about comic books that are being developed using AI for the art aspect of it.
Yeah.
So to tie these two things together, there's a bit of a discrepancy or some anger about what this means for artists. And you mentioned this about commissioning someone to make basically this same image.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of digital artists out there. There's a lot, I mean, like, even Todd McFarlane will sit there on his iPad and, do all these things with digital art, that kind of thing. But, like, a lot of artists that I have a very, eclectic collection of friends on my Facebook feed. And so you've got people who are using this app, and then you've got my artist friends who are very much bummed out and upset to see, because it's not just this AI throwing these things together, it's actually pulling images from other artists and other places and so it's essentially, it's almost like hodgepodging it together versus creating something original. There are really cool AI programs though that I've seen. An artist friend of mine actually showed it to me like a couple months ago, where you actually type in, here's what I'm looking for, here's this, and then from that it creates an image, which is really cool to me. Like that, that to me is like more legit AI. I'm writing a program essentially, and then this computer system is creating this image, which is really cool, where apparently Lensa is pulling images and artwork from other artists without their permission, without their knowledge. I actually want to read to you, a friend of mine had posted this this image of somebody talking about, your artist friends see you spending these $8 when you could have commissioned one of those friends and helped them pay the bills or do this or whatever. And a friend of mine had commented and said, it's also the massive copyright stuff. These artists had no say in whether or not their stuff is fed into this algorithm, and apparently sometimes the OG artists' watermarks are still even visible on the stuff. The law just isn't caught up with the technology. Copyright fiascos abound. And I'm sure that's going to start coming up and things like that, especially if, realistically, if these artists' art are, with the watermarks even on it, like being grabbed and pulled, there is 100% going to be some lawsuity stuff coming down the pipeline soon enough. But, it's all in good fun and everything else, like, because it is fun and it is a level of vanity. I'm sure, like, just it's fun to see yourself as a comic book or, a fae or this or, all the other kind of variants that they have going on out there. It's the bigger aspect of it is, are you stealing art?
So then let me ask you this: is it if you put your images in to Lensa and you get this profile picture back out from it, right?
Yeah.
Is that art? Or is that forgery?
I think it's just really fancy paint shop.
Paint
like,
shop.
like paint and Photoshop
Just
mixed together.
smashed together.
Yeah, just smashed together. Because I mean, there is like applications where you can take one of your images and like do different filters on it, and it's going to create something similar. But this I think is a little more in depth in the fact that if it is stealing artist's work, but then also the fact that you do have to put 10 of your faces and then have it, you know, supposedly comprise all of these other images. Like what are you doing with those images? Your original images, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, where is that going in the universe?
Who has it now?
Who has it? Who has all these things? We have enough facial recognition stuff in the world. Like, I guess, you know,
Not getting away with
adding more
anything.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want Skynet? Because that's how you get Skynet.
Stop. You're done.
I actually also heard that. Hi, it's Riley, by the way.
Hi, Riley.
Hey. I also heard that there's like a legitimate concern that using the AI, it's way too easy to trick it into creating private images of celebrities. You can trick it into generating not safe for work images. So something that just feels really gross, and it feels like one of those things that
really intrusive.
they didn't actually think of the implications of what they're creating.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me.
Yeah, that is really intrusive, too.
Ooh. I feel like
Riley got heavy in the cave.
there's a lot of ways you could take that same argument and go even farther left with it, and that's a problem. Like, not to put too fine a point on it, but I feel like there's a child pornography case in there somewhere, and that's a problem too.
Yeah. Oof.
Yikes. Anyway, we got some comments.
And that's our show. Thanks so much. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
All right. Oh, here's Troy. Troy Jeffrey Allen says, this is an excellent strategy by Skynet. Appeal to our vanity and social media narcissism. Now they have our face and can blackmail us all at a later date.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with giving my, look, I get it. My pictures are all over the internet anyway because I have an Instagram and a Facebook, but like.
We're also on camera.
Why would I want to have this so that you can regurgitate what I look like and also train your robots to be able to be smart or do this without permission?
Even
whatever.
farther. Ready to go deeper?
Yeah, let's do it.
Some people don't have location stuff turned off on their pictures. So on iPhone, there is a way that you can turn off when you take a picture somewhere, it says your location. So like sometimes if you, like there was a warning about if you send a text to somebody or that picture to somebody, they can actually see where you are. So say you took a picture of your house or like something like that. Does this app also have that information of all these pictures that you put in, all the places that you go often and take selfies?
I feel like if it doesn't, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
And you're welcome for the idea.
Great.
That's not the case.
All right, Stan says, I'm mostly concerned with the, I can't see this entire comment. There's something blocking the view, Riley.
It says, I'm mostly concerned with the security aspect of these AI apps. They're cool looking, but I still shy away from them.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's that. Because not everybody reads all of those terms and conditions.
Yeah, you remember when like TikTok first got popular? They were doing that whole cool thing where they would go outside the app and just like steal stuff off your phone. That was neat. We should do that again, but with pictures.
Yay!
It just makes me nervous. I
Spoilers.
think people need to be
Troy
more
also
mindful.
says, spoilers, Ashton, I only made it to chapter 6 like 4 years ago. Be considerate.
Oh.
No, I refuse, especially to Troy.
Yeah.
When I started reading Dune in 2020, and I had all that time on my hands, I'm finally gonna do it. And he was like, that whole time he could have done it.
Remember,
it took me like 3 months to get through that book. Like, and I read so slow. If I can do it, you can do it. I don't feel sorry. Also, there's been like 5 adaptations of Dune since it got published in the 70s.
And don't you have time on your hands right now, Troy?
Read it.
Get to reading.
Read the whole thing.
And he also says, are faces public property once they are on social media?
No. I had a really quick knee-jerk reaction to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't think that posting a picture of yourself on the internet gives up any like bodily autonomy or agency. I absolutely don't. That's a bad argument. Okay. All right. Are we done with robots? Do we want to?
Yeah, I think we're done with robots.
Really hit all the points on the robot discussion. Oh, actually, there was one more thing I wanted to say.
Yes.
Before we went down the weird rabbit hole, when we were still talking about like the art implications, it seems a little unfair at best, and probably something else at worst, that a AI would be able to spit out a picture like this that an artist probably spent years honing that style on.
Yeah, that skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Moving on. I really wanted to make that point because I do think that AI takes away from artistic integrity. The artistic integrity of a piece.
Yeah, which is really like a big point on my end too, is that, you know, if it's taking from something that's actual, like, cultivated from humans.
Yeah.
And just put it into an algorithm.
Nice. Okay, I guess we're going camping. All right. So let's transition to the weekly poll, which I'm sure will also be yelling, but just about a different topic.
Cool. Yay. Let's go.
All right. So
on our screen, really, there's like part of a window that is blocking what we can see. Yeah.
Yes.
Hold, please.
It looks like a PDF.
Yeah. I think it's the outline. Close the outline.
Just fly blind.
That's not better.
That makes it worse.
There you go. Hooray!
Sorry about that.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Okay, so Troy and I were discussing this the other week, and I'm really determined to have this conversation. So the way I phrased it here, and I guess I'll just kind of expand on a little bit, but you know, sometimes your beloved characters don't get the treatment they deserve in sequels and spin-offs. And so then of these three options here, where do you feel like the creators missed the mark the most, and how, in terms of how the original characters were portrayed in a sequel? So, like,
and then for example, but this is a poll, so what's so people have to choose from this,
right?
And give
so
reasons.
How do you feel like Luke, Leia? Do you feel like Luke, Leia, and Han were portrayed respectfully and in, you know, canonical character in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, or do you feel like they missed the mark in how they were portrayed? Do you feel like maybe Aang, Katara, Zuko, all of them were correctly portrayed in Legend of Korra, and in the original Jurassic Park characters in Jurassic World?
Well, Jurassic World, you've already got like a bunch of other Jurassic Parks that happened
right
in place of that, like Jurassic Park 2 and like all that kind of stuff. So for me, really, other than some of like the main characters, like one of the main characters for me is definitely a T-Rex.
Okay, so was
always gets honored there with like her swooping in and saving the day or some craziness and then getting the roar. That's always exciting. But as far, well, that's like it's like, yeah, you know. But as far as like some of the other characters and stuff like that, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss, because you kind of want to draw in a new generation but still also hold the nostalgia of the original Jurassic Park and things like that. So I get it, and that also kind of ties into Star Wars in that you're trying to bring in a new generation, and so you've got some of the old and then some of the newer, trying to, you know, connect them all and that kind of deal. But I feel like Han got okay, but then also not okay. And then spoilers.
Is that a spoiler?
Leia, I don't think had enough.
Oh God, they did Luke and Leia so dirty.
Yeah. Luke was, Luke
You're
and
telling
Leia.
me like the ultimate beacon of hope in the galaxy that would, you know, serve as the conduit to bring balance to the Force and has all of this optimism for where we're headed would end up a hermit because of a grumpy teenager? Bro, stop it.
To be fair,
Luke was so out of character.
As a mother of 3, those teenagers sometimes can really make you grumpy and want to kind of hermit away.
Bro, if the Emperor is not going to break your spirit,
yeah,
Kylo Ren is not going to break your spirits.
I don't know.
Stop it.
When it's like your kid, it can kind of mess with you a little bit. But no, you're absolutely correct though. Like that, it was definitely a what? Yeah. So I definitely, I agree. I agree with you.
Good.
Troy's weighing in.
Oh boy,
in the
here we go.
Of course he is.
Oh, okay. Troy says that last Jurassic World was so cringe, especially the original cast.
You are also correct.
Oh no, I didn't even see it. I didn't even waste.
Yeah,
my time.
you were also correct. I was disappointed because I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. I saw Jurassic Park in the movie theater 14 times.
Oh, the original?
Yes, the
Troy
original.
has another comment we're going to come back to in a minute because it's going to change the
Stop
topic.
interrupting me, Troy. But yeah, definitely the latest Jurassic World. Like, I was disappointed. I wanted more for them. I wanted more
Is that
of
the one that's
them.
called like Dominion or World Domination or something
Whatever
like
it
that?
is. Yeah, whatever it is. I definitely wanted more for them. More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was like a big deal. The original cast came back, right?
Yeah, and it
apparently
was
they
so
blew it.
exciting. And then it was just like, yep, okay, they were there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Hate
You know me, I don't usually have any negative comments about movies.
Yeah. Oh, I forced my
Okay,
time.
here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, here's what Troy was saying. I will never forgive Force Awakens for making Han a deadbeat.
Oh,
dad.
agreed.
Such an aggressive way to put it.
He's right though.
Such an aggressive way to put it, though.
Like, why? I just don't understand. Like, I really, sometimes I feel like the people that were responsible for making the sequel trilogy just never saw the original trilogy. They just were flying blind through the whole thing. 'Cause they did so many
that's
things
his dad?
that made
Okay,
no
cool. So we're
sense.
just going to have him do this. But to be fair, when a Jedi goes off to train, like, they leave their family. They leave their everything they've known so they can focus on their Force training. So, like,
Sure. But that's kind of not
so how
possible when
much
you're-
can Han really be involved with?
He could have been, because think about it, like, okay, so he's going off to train with Luke, who's the only Jedi. So, okay, his uncle.
Yeah.
So the family dynamic kind of forces itself by virtue of, like, there is
Yeah, but
no
you don't want
Jedi
distractions.
temple.
I'm totally gonna devil's
hate
advocate
you
this.
right now.
But you also don't want distractions. Like, he's got to train in the Force. He's got to focus and all that. And it wasn't just him. There was other younglings then that, like, so, you know, what can Han do?
He could not
Make him a
run
sandwich?
away.
We also got
Like-
Annie saying, have you ever walked out of a movie halfway through, for example, the latest Jurassic World?
Ooh.
I don't know that I've ever left a movie. no
And
matter how
Troy
bad it was.
responded that he walked out of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Of course you did.
I like how it's in all caps.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to say, I'm first of all rolling out of the picture again. Secondly, this poll was entirely selfish because I was really looking for a way last week, and now I'm also determined to make it this week's problem. I was looking for a way to monologue about how much I dislike how The Legend of Korra treats
I never saw that.
the original
show.
Avatar characters. Though I should have looked up if the original Avatar creators were involved in Legend of Korra, because that is absolutely, they made that show without even having watched Avatar at all.
Oh, really?
Apparently. It seems like it, because they take all of their key characters and turn them into the exact opposite of everything they stood for in the original series, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? So
Yeah.
Sokka's like the dad of the group. He never ends up a dad or has any kids. He also dies really young. Toph was
Thanks,
like,
Ashton.
okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going because that's now the second person I've been like, they die, surprise. Also, this show came out in 2012, so I refuse to be held responsible for people not watching things that have been out for quite some time. Toph, who was like totally anti-rule, she thought they were completely suffocating, goes on to become a cop and establish a police force. Aang, who's like the most optimistic Avatar ever, is like wholly useless and an absent father for no reason at all. Like, he spends the
They looped him.
They looped him. They spend the entire Avatar's Last Airbender with like his subplot being that he wants to be with Katara and they want to start a family, and he's an absent father for no reason at all.
Wow. All right. Well, that saved me some time.
It's pretty cool.
I don't have to watch that
Stan
now.
Diamond agrees with you.
Stan
Anne
says
definitely
Anne
was
definitely-
Aang. Oh my goodness, I said Anne. Aang definitely was mistreated, but the Star Wars characters were treated like they pulled them all out of retirement homes to film. I guess they kind of did.
They kind
They kind of did, but that doesn't mean you need to act like they like. They're all of them were so out of character.
They
Luke, Leia,
deserve
and
more
Han
respect.
We're so out of character.
Yeah.
So I really don't.
So I guess we all agree.
All of these make me angry. I had a
Yeah, that's
friend
sad.
try to get me to watch it, and they were like, "It's so good." And I watched the first season of it. It's 4 seasons, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
"I'm mad at this show.
Mhm.
Why did they do that to Aang?
Yeah.
Why would Aang be an absent father? He wouldn't. And how come Sokka had to die so young? Oh my
Yeah.
god, I was so mad. I rage. You know what, Andy? You were asking about walking out of a theater. I rage quit that show. I will not finish it. It's not the same as leaving a theater, but one season
Poor
was
Aang's
enough.
right next to you too.
I've seen enough. I'm taking that Aang with me.
Yeah.
He deserved better. All right.
Save him.
All right, so what are we picking here, gang? Now that I've just
Can we
yelled
choose
for
all
10
three of them?
minutes.
I feel like
Riley,
I
do
don't
you have
know.
a horse in this race?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really have a super good answer here because I've only ever seen the Star Wars ones. I saw the original Jurassic World, but I definitely didn't see. I haven't seen Legend of Korra, and I haven't seen like the sequels to Jurassic World. And I also didn't hate the Star Wars sequels except for the last one. So I have a different opinion there. But it sounds like you're most angry about Legend of Korra.
I was just gonna say
So-
that.
I
yeah.
personally
I
am.
feel like
gonna
that's
say,
where we should
and
go.
It sounds like it's not just one or two characters, but all the characters got done
Yes.
wrong. So I feel like we should vote for Legend of Korra.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, great. I'm glad I could yell my way into getting what I wanted.
Ooh, 53%.
Oh, I'm surprised
Yowzers.
Jurassic World at 25%. Yeah, so the Star Wars sequel
Split,
trilogy
yeah.
just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised by
lot of
that at
people
all
were
because
mad about
that
that for a
really
while.
did make a lot of people really angry.
Made a lot of
So
enemies.
angry.
Maybe a little too angry,
So
guys.
angry.
Let's relax
Well,
a bit.
to be fair, like a lot of people had expectations and they wanted the story to go a certain way or this,
Yeah.
whatever, and you can't,
Please everyone.
you can't please everyone and you can't have the same.
But what you
idea of,
can
like, whatever.
do is not murder Luke for no reason and then just walk away from that. You could have done something different.
Yeah.
Also, okay, no, never mind. Never mind.
The show's almost over,
yeah, I
Ashton.
know.
Hold
I
on.
know.
I know a lot of people actually really like Legend of Korra. I've never heard someone so adamantly against it. And
Okay, so it's well made. The animation's great. Like, don't get me wrong there. And I think it builds on the world well in terms of where we would go after the war with the Fire Nation, but it just completely fails the original cast of characters so remarkably that I just don't think it's worth my time to watch it.
Can we read that quote that you just brought up? I love
yeah,
that so
totally.
much.
So this comment on Twitter says, all they had to do was let Leia say, "I love you" to Han as he was walking away in The Force Awakens, and then have him turn to Leia and say, "I know. Huge opportunity missed. I'll never forgive them for that."
I agree with that. Just like a through line would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. I do like some of the interaction they had too about like when I have to go and she says like, "Oh, I always like it when you come back," and all that stuff too. That was
Yeah.
good. Let's change the subject.
All right. All right, this week's comic shop shout out. This week's comic shop shout out goes to Drawn to Comics in Glendale, Arizona. So we'll show you. Riley, do we have pictures for that during the credits roll?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So we'll show you inside of that shop during the credits roll. So this shout out comes from Curtis, who says these guys are the best in Arizona. Great selection, excellent customer service, and the store is in an awesome 2-story location. Good place to find a new series when you're not sure what you want to read. You'll find it there. So like I said, you can see pictures inside of their shop during the credits roll. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS or find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, give them some love.
That was really fast.
It's a
That was
mouthful.
impressive.
Might have been too fast, I don't know.
That was impressive.
All right, so I feel like we're at 3:50. We're wrapping this up.
Still supposed to talk about the panel coming up, maybe, right? And then DST Unboxed and
Yes,
Free
ma'am.
Comic Book Day.
So
Free Comic Book Day is you.
Want me to go?
That's
Want me to
you.
go first?
Yeah,
All right, I'm
yeah.
gonna talk for a minute then.
Yeah.
All right, Free Comic Book Day. Come
The
into your
Duchess
lo-
speaks.
The Duchess. Yeah, that's what they call me. Come into your local comic shop next year, Saturday, May 6th. 2023 at your local comic shop. The full lineup of books has been announced. We have 46 titles you can get absolutely free, and it is an awesome lineup this year. Like, I feel like every year it gets better and better. It's a really good mix of stuff you would be familiar with if you're a casual comic book fan or maybe like a pop culture fan. There's the Umbrella Academy, The Witcher, Power Rangers. What else? Like, there's
Red Sonja, Star Trek. Yeah.
Star Trek, Avatar, Last Airbender. There's Star Wars books. There's Marvel books. So there's a good mix of stuff you'd be familiar with if you're not a big comic book reader. So it's a good way to get your toes wet. But there's also tons of more obscure deep dives. Publishers that are starting larger story arcs tend to do it on Free Comic Book Day. So it's a good way to kind of get in on the ground floor. Again, 46 titles. You can go on the website and look through all of them and get more information if you want to see what each book is about. That's all there. And we'll be just like continuing to promote, and I'll remind you every single week until May. Y'all are going to be sick of me by the time it gets here. I know that. But it's a really great event. It's a really good way to support your local comic shop, support your community, and find something new, find a new hobby.
I consider it a holiday.
I mean, a lot of people do, honestly. So many people are like, oh, it's the Christmas of comic books. And it kind of is.
It's a tradition I have with my kids every year.
Really?
Too.
I love that.
All of them. Yep. Ever since Sydney was little.
Aww.
Too. Yep. I love it.
I see that a lot. I see it a lot with dads, which I can appreciate. They're like, oh, I take my kids and we go to like 5 shops and make a day of it. I love those stories.
Yeah. It's super fun.
It's
super fun. And it's always exciting, like, because some places, when I was back in Long Beach, a place I used to go to called Pulp Fiction would do a can drive. So like you got to pick your free comics. You could like limit, you can't like gather all of them. They would have you pick whatever. But then if you brought cans for a can drive, then you got extra comics and you got a raffle ticket and you got this, and it was like a whole thing. So like, you're giving to the community and then also getting like some love from the community at the same time. So it was really, really fun. I like it.
That's a great idea. And a lot of shops do stuff like that.
Yeah, there's always a special event. Yeah, check with your local comic shop, because there's always, they do something special for the day, not just here's some free comics. Like there's always like maybe a raffle, or they'll have like an artist there doing a signing or something cool, or like a cosplay contest, or like something really cool. So it's always it's like a holiday.
I did Free Comic Book Day, so I guess it would have been 2019, but I did it at Cards, Comics, and Collectibles in Reisterstown, which is Mark Nathan's shop in Baltimore Comic Con. Yeah. And he had like a food truck there. It was a whole thing. It
Mark
was
and Shelley are the best.
Yeah. All right, what's up? What is next? You said the panel. Yeah. What's
the panel. The panel. We are doing the panel. I'm pretty sure the 23rd, hopefully that day, and we're covering a comic from Boom Studios called Klaus. And
this
I'm
is
very
like
excited.
Aggressive Santa, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a very aggressive Santa. So kind of like Violent Night, which is I think in theaters now or coming out soon. I think it's in theaters now. So kind of like a similar feel, in that it's definitely not your Santa Claus kind of thing, more like a Sandy Claus. No, just kidding. So it's very aggressive. So we have all read it. We're going to talk about it, and
oh my God.
It's going to be Mia, Troy, and myself. And there you go. Here's a synopsis. He's a myth. He's a legend. So it'll be really fun. And we're going to be talking about that on the 23rd.
Stop that tagline. What does Santa Claus do the other 364 days of the year? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Also, is that him? It's like a sexy Santa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not unattractive.
Okay.
Sorry, honey.
Going off the rails.
Yeah.
And DST Unboxed.
DST Unboxed, which is a show that I host, and Riley helps me out back there. It's where I show you what hot new collectibles are coming to your local comic shop. It shows weekly on YouTube on Wednesdays, which is today, but usually airs about 10 o'clock in the morning, I think. It's either on Gentle Giant or Diamond Comic. What hurts?
Whoa.
Diamond Select Toys YouTube. So you can just go to youtube.com/collectdst. And weekly, a new episode comes out. Stay for the puns, but really, really stay for the bloopers at the end too. And all the fun content in the middle of me showing you about the collectibles. So I unbox. I honestly don't know what these look like. It's really my raw reaction, and then I give you details, and it's just really fun. We have a really good time filming it, and that comes out every single Wednesday.
Nice.
And
gives you a chance to see like what the toy actually is, maybe before you put your money into it.
How big it is, what it's made of. I also make sure to shout out to the artists.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's really important. And it's just really fun. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think so. I know I star it, but
no, it is cool.
Not that I'm biased, but yeah, and you get I have fun with it, and it's just I like toys and collectibles, so I'm really, really nerding out. Let's not pretend.
By nerds for nerds.
Yeah, exactly. By nerds for nerds. So check it out. It happens every week. And if you don't know which one's where to go, you can just go to my website, and they're right there on my homepage. The newest episode, it links right to their YouTube
All
channel.
right, keep going with that, and plug yourself again elsewhere, like on social media.
CannonDollX.
Nice.
.com, and then links to all the things, and then Instagram CannonDollX, Twitter CannonDollX.
I love that.
Facebook,
I'm like, plug yourself. CannonDollX.
CannonDollX, it's me. Yeah.
Just like full stop.
Right, that's it. Well, if you know who I am, just Google it. No, so I, create content on my own YouTube channel. I have some unboxings, I have interviews, I have some maker stuff. I got to make a metal rose at a maker's camp up in New York, and that was really exciting and fun. I got to learn how to blacksmith, I got to learn how to weld, and then I put those skills into a thing, and it became a metal rose, and that was really exciting.
Awesome.
But I also have some interviews coming up that feature some awesome people from StellarCon that I just went to here in Maryland, like Kari Payton and Dante Bosco, and Rufio for some people.
I saw that you talked to Dante Bosco, and I was like, oh.
I also cried a little, so that was.
I want.
During the interview, I talk about some. Yeah.
Oh, I would.
I talk about some really sentimental things that because he was such a pivotal character for our generation, for Rufio. Like, I talked to him about how. His style, the fact that like he went from, is he a bad guy, to oh my God, he's our hero, and and how he really influenced so much style, from hair, like punk rock scene, like all that. I mean, and then skateboarding became huge when that came out, like all of it. So I talked to him about a lot of things. So check it out on youtube.com/CannonDollX.
There we go. That's the kind of plug I like to hear. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Free Comic Book Day. And especially as Free Comic Book Day approaches, that'll be kind of your first place to get any information about, the books, anything pertaining to the event. That's your first place you should head. Also, it's just fun. I like to stir the pot, as you can tell with my polls. I enjoy general nerd yelling, and that's the place I like to do it. You can follow Troy at PREVIEWsworld on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, and that's your place for like actual comic book news, like not me being ridiculous, but like what's coming out. Get graphics if you want to get a look at the art. If you want to find new number ones, Troy's your guy. You can hit up all of those places.
He does really good interviews on the website too.
He does.
Yeah.
Troy is a good interviewer.
Yeah.
So if you want to get inside looks on what goes into making a comic or the creative process of that. Okay, we're at 3:59. We did it.
Right.
Nailed it. All right. So we were doing a high five. I wasn't ready.
There you go.
Okay, so I guess that does it for us here at PREVIEWsworld Weekly. I am your host, Ashton Greenwood.
And I am Natasha, aka CannonDollX.
And we will catch you guys at the spinner rack. See ya.
Come on!
Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to PREVIEWsworld on all of our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Tinder. Wait, is that not a thing?